All right, all right. Hey, welcome back, guys. All right, this is going to be today's topic for the 17th of October. Also, I'll probably get one for the 18th coming out today as well, just because I like to put these out a little bit in advance, knowing that people watch in different parts of the world where they're already well into the 17th by the time this video comes out. Please know this is the series where if you would like to enter to win in the comments section, the comments are on. You can just type the word compassion and that gets you entered to win for Monday's drawing. Every Monday, I randomly go through the comments on one of the days out of the week, and I just, where my finger lands, that's our winner, and I do a storytelling for that person. So writing compassion lets me know you want to be entered for that, but also it's just a nice word, and kind of if we're going to flood the comments with any particular thing, hopefully that's good vibes. So that's why we went with that word a long time ago. You guys voted on that many years ago when I did this, and I just recently brought it back because I felt like we could all use some compassion. All right, so first off, the message that starts us out is reflection. As one gazes into one's past, you can see the way to the future. So somebody could literally be throwing some tarot cards, looking into a crystal ball, seeing as trying to figure out what's going to happen next. And yet it's kind of nice that they're looking into their past first, reflecting, maybe taking accountability, maybe considering, who they've been, what they've done. It's great, and I think very evolved of us to like look at choices that we've made in life. It's interesting that this card comes up only because we are currently doing a past life message, how a past life has impacted us in this life for all the zodiacs. I've only put out Virgo and Libra right now, but I'll be doing more throughout the day. So look for those if check the playlists. But I will be doing all 13 zodiacs for that topic. So it's just interesting because if on the 17th it's a day to really reflect, only because a character wants to move forward, not because they're trying to like pine for X's or anything, but because they want to move forward. Six of Wands, I definitely feel like somebody is reflecting on the things they've done well, getting more confidence, not less, which is a great way to look at, if I'm looking at my past and I'm counting up the stuff I'm proud of, that's awesome. And that propels me forward. We have the Hermit in the reverse. Strong Virgo energy, also Leo, Sag, Aries. We have somebody who has perhaps spent plenty of time alone on a, kind of dark night of the soul journey, trying to figure out what they needed to do, what they needed to say. And it says the theory of spontaneous solitude is practiced throughout the eastern Himalayas by wandering hermits intent on finding inner solitude. And I just feel like I feel like somebody has like a bug in a piece of amber, or like a paperweight or something that's just all of a sudden that's just standing out to me like a piece of a paperweight, or like somebody has like something hanging on their wall that's bugs of the world or something, or in like a display case. Could be something that they inherited, or it could be like a keychain that has, it doesn't even have to be a bug necessarily. Sometimes there's like those little tiny scorpions in like keychains or something. Sorry, side note. But it just comes across like we have a character who has spent plenty of time looking at things kind of like under the magnifying glass. Maybe they felt very small at one point in time, studying their own life like it's a bug under a magnifying glass. But what they discovered is, what, I'm kind of all right. I've done kind of some stuff that I'm proud of. Maybe not every aspect of my life has been perfect, but, given the lot I was dealt in this lifetime, I've done what I could with it, and I'm pretty proud of myself. This is awesome. If we're going to look at the past to then see the way to the future, I would say that's really nice to be able to count up some stuff we're proud of. I don't think we should ever have to look at our past and only identify the wrongs, the negatives, the failures, because that would kind of like make it seem like we've never done anything that worthy, and that's not true. Every day we're here. Life is hard. I mean, I think everybody should celebrate themselves for every day that we are living, and we are, adulting, and we are humaning, because it's tough to be a human. So eat more cake, celebrate more often. that's my motto. We've got the Lovers card sideways. Definitely feels like a character has reflected on past relationships and said, I've learned a ton. Every person I picked, I chose them because I really cared about them. And even if it didn't end up well, I'm still glad I had the experience. I did never love somebody that I didn't love. I mean, that's what I kind of feel like this character is saying. What more can you hope for in this life other than to be true with yourself? Any person you fall into the arms of, it's like, yeah, that's because I wanted their arms around me. Because at the time, I thought they were the very best one. And that was a person I felt like sharing, my time, my body, my energy, my heart with. Maybe it didn't always work out. Maybe I'm single right now because I learned lessons with past lovers, but I always still picked the ones that I wanted to learn lessons with. So I can hold my head up high and say, that's the story of my life. I was brave enough to sign up to learn some stuff. And my story is far from being written. This is a character who has a lot more to look forward to, for sure. Six of Swords. This is them finally like, I can move on from the past, unashamed, unabashed. In fact, I feel like the angels have protected me. I feel like I've been true and honest with myself. I feel like I've been fair and looked at my life and looked at why I've picked what I've picked. By the way, we did have strong Gemini there. Also, I didn't mention that. Queen of Swords, King of Wands. Fantastic. On the 17th, we have a character truly moving into the next chapter of their life. The not taking exes back in this storyline. Just because I look at their past does not mean that anything from their past comes with them, other than the sense of satisfaction that they did the best they could given the circumstances, and they lived authentically from their heart space. This is a character saying, and I will continue to do so. I will let this be my guiding light. I love the fact that this is a character who's not like shaming themselves, punishing themselves. If anything, you see her as this Queen of Swords saying, if you look closely, her third eye is really open right there. Sorry, guys, I was painting, so I have paint on my hands, and then I also have an injury to my finger that's still healing, so my apologies for that. She's aware, and especially, I'm going to say she just because we saw this Queen of Swords here before the King of Wands, but bear in mind this could be either or, this could be same-sex couple, reverse gender role, never matters. But right now, I'm going to say she's our lead character. She may be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, or she might just be somebody who's like, here's the truth. The truth is, I would never have changed the choices that I've made, and I will continue to follow with my third eye, and I trust that the next person that I select, it will be for a very good reason also. I will know who I'm looking for, and I'm drawn to the people that I need to experience things with. Now, I do think she's saying, if I've already completed some lessons, though, I probably don't need to complete any more. So maybe this time I'll be ready for a balanced relationship. I do think this. Let's go back to that Lover's card. I believe at one point in time, she may realize that she got herself involved with somebody that maybe was either a bit of a player or was somebody that had too many exes still on their mind. And she may have said, I felt like I was just one of many. But even that, I don't let it lower my opinion of myself, because I was authentic. I picked somebody wholeheartedly, even if they were not so authentic and wholehearted, or they weren't sure. Honestly, though, I have to say, for what it's worth, this person, she was the best one also. She was the one they most wanted. I'm not saying that they did anything right or had any right to her, but she is the one that will always stay on their mind. They can meet any other feminine out there. They may have dated other people at the same time. And yet, you know what? She's the one that they still reach their hand out to, even though she's not answering the call. I almost think that if she did deal with a player, that player will never forget her. And that's just a side note here. That part doesn't matter in this story. It's just, I have to point out his body language. There's even a sadness there. She's the one that got away. She's the one that wouldn't be one of many, even if she accidentally ended up being that for a period of time. But she can move on from that. And she's trusting that even that person that I dealt with in my past, there was probably a reason for it. I chose them. They chose me. For what it's worth, I listen to my intuition, and I trust that the people I'm supposed to interact with in my life, those are the ones I'll find. She already knows that there's a King of Wands up ahead. I'm almost sensing that this whole story, if she's reflecting on her past in order to see the way ahead to the future, I'm thinking what she's really doing is touching base with the fact that she maybe has already either come across a King of Wands and she's like, okay, hang on. Does this mean something? Is there a reason that I'm encountering him? And she's touching base and saying, let me think about this. What have I learned from my past? What have I learned through my life thus far? I don't know. She's either going to meet him really soon or has already met him. Princess of Coins. By the way, it is 11:11 on the clock where I'm at right now as I'm recording this. So just FYI, just kind of an interesting thing as far as like union, a great message of like two people that could be very beautifully balanced together. With the Princess of Coins, I feel like he is somebody that she's just barely had a conversation with. And you notice how she's got like this little like coin headpiece around her forehead. I almost feel like she's either feeling like, oh my gosh, maybe she's rubbing her forehead. Maybe it's because it's like, I feel like there's a reason I'm meeting this person. There's a reason I want to talk to him. It's already awakening something in my brain. I do feel like if she's getting a tarot card reading, she doesn't need one. She already knows. I don't think she's somebody who needs somebody else to tell her about her future. She knows in her own mind here. Temperance. Yeah, she's definitely the artist, the architect of her own life. Him, her, it doesn't matter. Again, this could be a masculine just as easy, who could be meeting a masculine or a feminine that they're drawn to. But it's like, I already do know I paint my future. The only thing I really needed to do was look back at my past for the sake of, what lessons did I learn? Let me get one or two more out of another deck here. High Priestess, Death card, Two of Swords. All of this is the same reinforcing message to me. Yes, she could be stepping more and more into this concept that I am aware of my third eye. I am deeply intuitive. There's never been anybody that stood out to me that I met or wanted to talk to. She could be the kind of person where she walks into a crowd, walks into an event, and she can scan the whole room, and it's like, I already know that person is the one I'm going to talk to. She could do this in a room full of famous people. She could go to an event and she's like, I already know that lead singer is going to notice me. And I don't think she's wrong. That's the crazy part. She's not wrong. This is somebody who there's an intuitive awareness of, I always know who I'm going to end up with. I always can tell who my next partner is. And it's not even just like an attraction thing. It's like she senses a kindred soul. And I don't know how else to say it other than she accepts it now. This is what the real story is about. She's no longer hiding from that. I think she blocked it for a long time and was like, no, you never know. You never know why you meet somebody or when you're going to meet somebody. She does. She even knows the when. Maybe not down to the minutia and the detail, but there is something that she is sensitive to. She may meet somebody around Halloween, and I just say this because this is a very Halloween card, and we have, Edgar Allan Poe here, Nevermore. I don't know, maybe somebody's name is like Lenore or something, or maybe she loves Poe stories, I'm thinking Telltale Heart and stuff. But it just seems like perhaps by Halloween, even here with this crystal ball, I don't know if she's going to dress up as the high priestess, the witch, something like that for Halloween. Skeleton, he may be dressed as a skeleton. But it just feels like there is this energy where she finally just fully accepts on the 17th. Okay, this is how it is. I do know. I've always known. There's never been a time when I didn't know who I was going to end up encountering, who I was going to end up, connecting to. Now, perhaps simply because he stands here and it looks very much like, I would say, kind of like the time of the Romans here. Perhaps this is somebody who is from a past life. Maybe every person she's ever had of importance in her love life have always been past life individuals that she, picked up with or connected to again in this lifetime. I mean, this is the vibe that we're talking about right now in those other stories that we're doing for the Zodiacs this week, in the second half of the week. And it's a lot of people wanted the past life, and I thought it was a good one because of this backdrop. So there's that arched doorway, which is what we have behind me too. So I have to say this is very appropriate, right? it looks like we're in this place. So this is a very timely, very beautiful message where I keep thinking that we have a Queen of Swords, High Priestess, who is recognizing I've always known who I'm going to end up with. And I fully appreciate that and I fully accept it. And honestly, it's my gift, not my curse. So let me just go ahead and say this next person, I'm not being arrogant or full of myself to say, I already know I'm going to end up with him. I can already tell. Maybe I'm making it happen, but mostly I'm at peace with this happening. And I'm more at peace with the fact that I am a high priestess. I don't think she needs tarot cards or anybody else to tell her what she already knows. That's the unique thing about her. All right, I'm going to leave this one here. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. And real quick, let me pull a couple cards for someone whose birthday would be on the 17th of October. We have present moment, we have the death and rebirth, and we have the Six of Cups. So we actually have past, we have change, and we have returning soulmate on this. It could be a big year for somebody. We're still in year of the snake, so somebody whose birthday is right now, they could be shedding an old skin. They could be then shifting their attention to like really being in their present, and they could either be meeting a past life soulmate sometime this year, or somebody just naturally gravitates back into their life because they too have gone through changes. Sometimes everybody is, going through the same experiences in life at approximately the same time, especially like-minded individuals. It's funny because this almost fits a little bit with the storyline that we had, as far as like we definitely deal with past life stuff today. So anyway, great stories. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here. Lots of love. Bye.